Alright, so this whole thing kicks off with this older guy. He's a pharmacist, but not just any random pharmacist. This guy helps people without ever asking for anything back. And why? Because he's the kind of dude who believes that what goes around comes around. That's just who he is. And one day, he gets a call from some merchant asking if he's interested in buying a girl. And yeah, you heard me, a literal girl. Turns out, her old master tossed her away like she was straight up garbage. So our guy goes to check her out. And man, what he sees hits hard. And she's completely wrecked. Her body's covered in bruises and scars, like she'd been tied up for days. She can't see, can't speak, and she can't feel anything. She can only hear. And the pharmacist, he just freezes there, boiling on the inside, like, what the hell do this to another living being? Right there, he decides, nope, he's not leaving her behind. He checks her over carefully and confirms the worst. Her limbs are badly damaged, and it's obvious she's been abused over and over. So yeah, he buys her. He's not buying her as property. He's rescuing her. He tells her straight up, from now on, you're under my protection. I'm not stopping until I heal you. On the way home, he noticed something off. She doesn't resist, doesn't react, doesn't even move. She's just numb. Like, she's so used to be treated like an object, she doesn't even act human anymore. They stop in the forest to rest, and she seems a little calmer. Night falls before they can make it back to his workshop, so they camp in the mountains. He cooks her a warm meal, but when she takes a bite, she just starts crying. Not because it's bad, she's crying because it's warm, and because she thought he was gonna hurt her, because she doesn't even remember what kindness feels like. And when the pharmacist sees that, he gets it. Her wounds run way deeper than her skin, so he promised himself from now on he's gonna be extra careful with her. And that night, she gets a fever, and he stays up all night making an antibiotic from the herbs he picked earlier, and finally gets her stable, and passes out for a quick nap. When he wakes up, she's conscious, still quiet, still not talking, but she's awake. So he decides to give her a name, Desire. For the first time she speaks, and she asks,
"Why that name?"
and he says, because I want to change your fate. And back at his workshop, he changed her bandages, bathed her gently, and realized something worse. Desire can't feel touch anymore. She's not just broken outside, she's disconnected inside too. While treating her, his hands start shaking, not from fear, but from pure rage. Who could do something like this to her? He starts with her external wounds, herbs, ointments, whatever to make her feel better. It's gonna be a long process. He trades some rare plants for clothes from an old friend, and now she's starting to look more like a regular girl again. He feeds her well, puts her to bed, and since he hasn't slept in 2 days, he crashes right next to her. The next morning, he's out tending his herd. Unlike other pharmacists, he grows his own, and while working, he gets an idea, a high-grade potion that could regrow her limbs. But the catch, it will shatter her life. But hey, she's an elf. They live like forever, and a couple of years is nothing. While he's away though, Desire starts crying. The second she feels alone, she breaks down, terrified of being abandoned again, but eventually she calms herself. And the next day at the shop, the daughter of the woman who made Desire's clothes stops by to visit her, talks to her with his sweet childlike kindness. Desire can't see yet, but she listens, and just hearing that kindness brings her some peace. Time passes and the pharmacist keeps treating her. Eye drops, skincare, carefully checkups, things improve slowly but they improve. At one point, he even makes her a custom set of teeth. One afternoon, a farmer brings in a huge cut of meat to thank him for fixing his back. So the pharmacist throws a little celebration for Desire, cooking that meat into a nice meal. And when she eats it, she smiles. And that tiny little smile, it's everything. But peace never lasts. And one day, he comes home to find Desire on the floor, convulsing, eyes red, chest inflamed. It's the venom from a western spider, a small, bitch-ass little deadly poison motherfucker creature. And then he acts fast, gives her rum, nasty tasting herbs, anything to make her vomit it out. After a tense moment, she spits out a black pill from her stomach. Someone poisoned her, and only one person will do it like this. Yeah, her former master. The pharmacist is furious, but stay focused. She needs saving. He heads out to gather the ingredients for an antidote, a obsidian spider liver, a manadora root, and a magical stone that converts attributes. 2 days straight, no sleep, no rest. And when he returns, Monette and her mom have kept Desire alive. He brews the antidote and it works. Desire starts coming back. Her vision returns, not fully but enough to tell light from dark. She can talk now too. Not much, but she tries. He asks about her hometown, but she doesn't remember. Maybe she blocked it out from all the trauma. Still, she tells him.
Thanks, you.
A few days later, another farmer drops off a giant pumpkin as thanks. Monet sees how exhausted the pharmacist is, so she makes him rest while she bakes a pie and cares for Desire. While he naps, he dreams about fully healing her someday. And when he wakes up, he finds a letter from an old friend, a doctor in the mountains who wants to see Desire, and of course he have to bring money. He preps for the trip, locks all his valuables in a magical safe, dresses Desire in winter clothes. It's cold, but the journey is smooth. Desires talk more now, not non-stop, but she's opening up. At one stop, she asks him for his name, and he says, "Just call me pharmacist." She smiles and says she's got more questions for later. On their way to a teleport scroll shop, they run into a king bear, a massive and territorial beast. But before he can draw his knife, Desire lets out a soft, forest-like melody, and the bear just turns and leaves. For the first time, he sees the real her, just a forest elf. But then they run into a giant snake, but he takes it out like a pro, potion in one hand and blade in another, and it's done in a few seconds. The next morning they reach Karma City. They try to use the portal to reach the doctor, but the receptionist refuses because Desire is an elf and a special license is required. Hearing this, Desire breaks down and tells him to leave her, says she's just a burden, and the pharmacist loses it. Tells the guy he'll pay double, triple, whatever it takes, but don't make her cry again, he says. But minutes later, they get through. They reach the new city, only one room left, only one bed, and he crashes instantly. Desire's nervous, but he just sleeps, and eventually, so does she. And the next day after breakfast, they take a carriage up the mountains, and she asks why he's doing all this for her. And he shares a little. His parents died when he was a kid, and he barely survived until an ogre took him in, treating him like her little brother, but quickly changed the subject. It's too personal. They begin to climb the last obstacle to reach the doctor, but he starts to feel strange. A snake bite? The cold? Who knows? He finds a cave to rest in, but the next morning, still sick, he presses on and collapses in the snow. Panic, Desire used the magical pendant he gave her, which glows brightly, and in the distance, a mysterious masked figure watches him.